Hello, people. This is your first time here. Welcome. And if you're been here before, welcome back. This is a series of video tutorials for people who want to do better in the TOEFL test. Right now, we're working with structure and written expression, and we're going to work with skill. Skill. Okay, pronouns with adjectives and adverbs. It reads, many different problems with adjectives and adverbs are possible in the written expression section of the TOEFL test. To identify these problems, you must first be able to recognize adjectives and adverbs. Often adverbs are formed by adding ly adjectives, and these ly adverbs are very easy to recognize. The following examples show adverbs that are formed by adding ly adjectives. Recent, recently, public, publicly, evident, evidently. However, there are many adverbs in English that do not end in ly. These adverbs can be recognized from the meanings. They can describe when something happens, like often, soon, later, how something happened, fast, hard, well, or where something happens, here, there, nowhere. There are three skills involving adjectives and adverbs that will help you on the written expression section of the TOEFL test. 1, knowing when to use adjectives and adverbs. 2, using adjectives rather than adverbs after linking verbs. And number 3, positioning adjectives and adverbs correctly. So, in skill 46, it reads, use basic adjectives and adverbs correctly. Sometimes in the written expression section of the TOEFL test, adjectives are used in place of adverbs or adverbs are used in place of adjectives. Adjectives and adverbs have very different uses. Adjectives have only one job. They describe nouns or pronouns. She is a beautiful woman. In the first example, the adjective beautiful describes the noun woman. She is beautiful. In the second example, the adjective beautiful describes the pronoun she. Adverbs do three different things. They describe verbs, they describe adjectives, and they describe other adverbs. She sings beautifully. In the first example, the adverb beautifully describes the verb sings, how she sings, how she does the action. She's a beautifully dressed woman. In the second example, the adverb beautifully describes the adjective dress, which describes the noun woman. She is a beautifully dressed woman. Okay, so she is a woman. This woman is dressed. That is the characteristic of the woman. It's an adjective. And we have this adverb to modify, intensify the adjective dress. She is a beautifully dressed woman. She is a truly beautifully dressed woman. In the third example, the adverb truly describes the adverb beautifully. The adverb beautifully describes the adjective dress, and the adjective dress describes the noun woman. She is a truly beautifully dressed woman. Okay, so we got two adverbs that are working as intensifiers, an adjective that is describing the noun woman. The following are examples of incorrect sentences as they might appear on the TOEFL test. Take a look at this. Right, it says they were seated at a largely table. Largely is an adverb, and table is a noun. So adverbs never describe nouns. They can describe another adverb, an adjective, but nothing like that. Okay, so it should be they were seated at a large table. Adjective large. The child talked quick to her mother. Right, the child talked. That's the verb. Quick is an adjective, but you describe an action, then you should use the adverb quickly. We read an extreme long story. Okay, so again, long is an adjective, extreme is also an adjective. It should be an adverb, extremely long story. Okay, the first example, the word seated by a large table, the adverb largely is incorrect because it is large needed to describe the noun table. In the second example, the child talked quick. The adjective quick is incorrect because the adverb quickly is needed to describe the verb talk. We read an extreme long story. In the example, the adjective extreme is incorrect because the adverb extremely is needed to describe the adjective long. The following chart outlines the important information that you should remember about the basic use of adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives. We use adjectives to describe nouns and pronouns, and we use adverbs to describe verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Okay, so in the exercise, it reads, each of the following sentences has at least one adjective or adverb we're going to circle the adjectives and the adverbs, and we're going to label them as such. Then we're going to draw an arrow to the word they describe, and then indicate the sentences are correct or incorrect. Look at the example. The mother was pleasant surprised when her daughter came to visit. So we got pleasant, it's an adjective. Surprise is an adjective. Who was surprised? The mother was surprised. And the adjective surprise talks about the mother. But here we have a problem. It should be pleasantly surprised, as an adjective, not as an adverb, sorry, not as an adjective. All right, second one says the salespeople frequently visit the East Coast for trade shows. Okay, so we got an adverb frequently that describes the verb visit. So this is okay. All right, so take a moment, pause the video, complete the exercise. When you finish, come back and we're gonna look at your answers. Okay, pause the video now. Okay, now that you're back, let's see, he was driving an expensively sports car, right. This is an adverb and it's incorrect. It should be an expensive, an adjective, not an adverb. There is a special program on television this evening, right? This is an adjective for the noun program, so it's okay. She was chosen for the leading part because she sings so well. A leading part, adjective to noun. She sings, that's a verb. So well. Just to know how well she sings. So this is correct. The car was not complete ready. Was not complete ready. Ready is the adjective. And it's talking about the car. Complete ready. This is an adjective too. This should be an adverb. Completely ready. It was difficult, right? This is an adjective, talking about it. It was difficult to believe that what we read in the newspaper was a truly story. Story is a noun, truly is an adverb. Adjective describe noun, so it should be a true story. Points will be subtracted for each incorrect answer question. So answer is the adjective, correct the question, said incorrect is also an adjective, but it should be an adverb, right? It should be incorrectly answered question. The production manager quietly requested a completely report of the terribly incident. Okay, so quietly requested, yes, an adverb describing what they did, the action. But this is a noun, so it should be an adjective instead of a noun. Yeah, so it should be a complete report. And incident is also a noun, so this should also be an adjective instead of this verb, so it should be terrible incident. The children finished their homework quickly, right? So they could watch television, right? So this is the verb, they finish. How did they finish? They finished quickly, working as an adverb. So this is fine, right? So take a look at that, your answers, wrote. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to you. So, if you found this material useful, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the YouTube algorithm. Share it with somebody who might need it and consider subscribing so the channel can get bigger and strong. So thank you very much. See you in